My hair is extremely dirty. There's a lot of dry shampoo in here, which I try not to use often because it really builds up on the scalp. If you're constantly using dry shampoo or just any kind of products like a root lifter or anything that goes directly on the scalp, a lot of those powders and starches will mix with your oil, your sweat, and over time creates buildup, which clogs the hair follicle. If your hair follicle is clogged, it's really hard for new hair to bump through that. So cleaning your scalp is probably the most important step if you're trying to repair your hair, grow your hair. I just put this thing on because this can get messy and I'll end up moving it down. One of my favorite products to use is this by Biolage. It looks and feels just like water and it goes directly on the scalp. You don't have to buy this. I'm gonna show you an alternative in just a minute. You just go through, lift up little sections, and apply it directly on the scalp. With this product, you wanna stay away from the ends. It will dry them out. But this product goes through and breaks up all that buildup from products, oil, sweat, everything that's compacted on the scalp. It basically melts it in a way. After you apply it, you massage it in, and it's supposed to be for 5 minutes. I do my best, but 5 minutes to me is really 2 minutes, so you just do what you can, and then you leave it on your scalp for 15 minutes. An alternative to this is apple cider vinegar, and this is really good if you have dandruff. You can get this spray bottle at the Dollar Tree, and just a little bit, like maybe a teaspoon with water, and same kind of thing. I'm gonna do it on this side, directly on the scalp. Now, it's not gonna smell as nice as the Biolage one. This one smells like every salon in the early 2000s. Do you remember walking into malls, like actual malls? They always had a ton of hair salons in there, and they all either smelled like Perms or Biolage. I love them both. Same kind of thing. You're focusing this on the scalp, and then you'll massage it in. The apple cider vinegar can actually go on the ends of your hair. It's gonna help create shine, almost act as a clarifying treatment without drying it out like this one will. I wouldn't oversaturate it. I just usually do a light mist. I use this one a lot because it is a heck of a lot cheaper to use this than it is to use this. I get the worst buildup right here. Also, I have an issue on the hairline, and I think that's just from sweat. When I'm at the gym, I sweat a lot, which is gross, but what can you do? This little comb, I'll link this below. You can get this on Amazon. This is a dandruff comb. So it's just a regular comb. You're gonna comb your hair with it, and then you push this button and all the dandruff will fly off. You just go through just on the scalp, and you don't wanna apply too much pressure because it will actually scratch your scalp. This is also helping get that product in, and even if you don't have dandruff or flakes or anything, this is really good just to clear the scalp of product buildup. Hairsprays, root sprays, anything that you're using that could block the hair follicles from busting through. So it's gonna help scrape a lot of that product out. Can you see that? Now this is gross, but you'll push the button up, and here's all the product oils, dandruff, anything that was on my scalp. I'm gonna use this today, but it is not my first choice. Honestly, it's a last choice. I don't prefer this brand at all. I think it's one of those very expensive, overhyped products. I've tried a lot of things in their product line. The oils, different conditioners, different shampoos, masks, treatments. There's not been one that I've liked on my hair texture or anyone else's. I'm gonna use it today because I'm trying to get through it, to not waste it. I alternate shampoos a lot. You don't need a super expensive shampoo. Just look for one that's paraben sulfate free. Right now I'm using, what am I using? I'm using Redken All Soft at home, and I actually don't condition my hair really ever. And that's just because I have such fine hair. Conditioner weighs it down so much. I'll shampoo it and then I'll spray in a leave-in spray. I'm gonna rinse this really well with warmish water. Then the shampoo, we're gonna focus on the scalp. This shampoo reminds me a lot of, I don't know if anyone will remember this, Wren Hair Care, W-R-E-N, the way it made your hair feel. So taking the fingertips and really getting in there, not scratching with your nails. So if you have those long nails, you may not be able to do this. You can get one of those shampoo things at Dollar Tree. They're like a shampoo handle. I use one of those a lot too. But just focusing on the scalp. This is where the oils are, build up, product, and then squeezing the ends. These are the most fragile part of my hair, the ends. So I don't want to go like this or do anything like this. We're just squeezing it through. When you rub it like this, the hairs are almost grinding against each other, and it'll kind of act like sandpaper, if that makes sense. So literally just squeezing it. And there's a lot of, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of brown coming out. That's dry shampoo, which I am gonna get better about using less of. I'm working on that. Rinsing with cold water. I don't use conditioner, like I said, because of my hair texture, but if you need to or want to, just the ends. I'm actually gonna shampoo mine twice, this time with Bond Bar. That's from Sally's. Same kind of thing, really shampooing Just squeezing it through the ends. That's enough to get it clean. This will hurt your back. And then rinsing it really, really well. This will look like a rat's nest because there's no conditioner and the ends are a little fried. The leave-in spray I use is this by Pravana Blonde Leave-In Treatment. Only focusing on the ends and spraying it all over. Also, my hair is naturally wavy. So this helps seal the hair, acts as a leave-in conditioner, and it has a mild heat protectant. I'm also going to apply this. You can get this at Walmart. And only 1 drop of this because it is super heavy for my hair. Create a little cocktail. And again, this is only on the ends on this rat nest. Just working this through. Just pick your poison wherever you want to start. Lightly with the ends, work your way up. And it should glide through there. This helps a lot. They also make a blue one that's not for blondes. It's purple because they say it neutralizes yellow tones. I have never seen it do that. It's just a great leave-in conditioner. More so if you have hair like mine, where it's fine or even thinner. We don't need any products like lotions that weigh down the hair. When we do a blow dry or try to create volume, gravity's gonna take over with the weight of the product and we're not gonna get any volume. So now that we can get a brush through this, we're gonna go through and rough dry it, which is getting it 80% dry. So just going through and literally doing this all over. You wanna try to avoid just keeping the blow dryer in the same spot. It is constantly moving. That way you're not damaging the hair. So again, 80% dry, and I'm gonna use low heat, the lowest that it will go. And no brushes, just my hands. Now that it's 60 to 80% dry, we're gonna do kind of a flat wrapping technique. This will create volume at the root. I'm using a Denman brush. This is a dupe from Amazon, but it is the same. I think it was $10 and a Denman brush, the brand. They're at least $20. You don't need the name brand. You don't even need this brush. Just use any brush, a wet brush, anything but a round brush. So what we're doing is creating volume. I'm gonna brush the roots this way. That will create a little volume when I bump this over. So anywhere you want volume, you would flat wrap it or blow dry it the way I'm gonna show you, the opposite way. So if I wanna create volume at the nape here, I'm gonna blow dry straight up. For the crown here, the hair goes back this way. We're gonna blow dry it the opposite way, towards my face. For this step, we're only focusing on the root. We're getting the root completely dry. The ends will stay a little bit damp for the finished work. How this will work is a truck and trailer technique, like a semi truck. Here's where the driver is in the front, and here's the cargo, or what are they called? Those metal things. Containers, shipping container. This is the shipping container. This is the front. There's gotta be a word for that. This is the front of the truck. They follow each other. The shipping container never flies off, gets loose. They're always going the same way, and it's constantly moving. So again, focusing on where I wanna create volume, just at the root. I'm gonna do it with it off so you can hear me. The brush goes here, blow dryer here, up, over, over, over. You can start wherever. I kind of just go all over the place, but over, over, over. So you're not going all the way through to the ends. The ends are almost dry. So this step is just creating volume and getting the roots dry, completely dry. And again, low volume or low heat for me. So you're just wrapping the hair. Now again, you don't need this brush. This is a great brush for smoothing the hair out, especially if you have textured curly hair, but just use any brush. The technique is the same. I would always just try to use what you've got, especially in this economy, girl. Just use what you've got. We don't need to be buying stuff. Let's just use what we have. I'm not done yet, but I'll show you this side. So I wrapped this side. The roots are dry. So when I bend this back to the way I want it to go, it's created volume. Now we're gonna create volume just here for me. I don't want volume on my whole head. Or I'm sure I do, but I don't really have time to do a whole roller set in my hair usually. I just do the crown. Pretend there's no hair on here, but these are from the Dollar Tree. You get 4 for $1.25. This is a large round brush. I part my hair in the middle, and I'm not using any root sprays or any products directly. I don't want to create buildup on my scalp. So it just is what it is. Could we get more volume with a product? Sure, but that's gonna weigh our hair down, damage our hair more. Let's just keep it simple. This little piece back here, I wanna create volume. How we do that? To create the most volume, we're gonna take the round brush and over direct it this way. The blow dryer is gonna be here. We're gonna get it to the ends, wrap, 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 wrap. Blow dry. Let me do that real quick. Again, low heat for me. Unwrap it while it's still hot. That way it doesn't lose its shape. So how you form a curl is with heat. And these are little pin curl clips from Sally's. Heat forms the curl, but how you set the curl or make sure it stays is by cooling it down. So this is gonna help cool that down, kind of like shocking an egg. You want the egg to immediately stop cooking, so you dip it in ice bath water water with ice, whatever. That's why there's a cool shot button on hair dryers. It's to cool whatever you're doing down to set that curl. Probably do my bang area. I do it a bunch of different ways, but we'll probably do it forward. The ends are almost dry, so you shouldn't be blow drying this long. And then we're gonna replace it with the roller. And I've got 2 left. It comes with a pack of 4. So I'll do this little side here. And for the most volume, you want to take it off the base. This is the base of the hair. Extend it beyond that. That's going to create the most volume. Now to tackle the bottom portion. I'm going to split this in half and section this off. I'm just going to wear my hair straight. So I'm going to take the Denman brush and just moving this down. This is almost dry, so this is just to smooth it out. Now we can just take these out, and it should have a nice volume, and do a little brush. It would look pretty to do the whole head with these. It would just take a while. Is that in the middle? No, what? But yeah, that's it. And I try not to put any hairspray or anything in it. Sometimes I will go through and take the flat iron to a thin piece on the part line because the grays are wanting to do their little dancey thing where they just start popping up, but not running the flat iron through the ends just to save the hair. And another cool thing from the Dollar Tree, where'd it go? These little root lifters. In my car, I'll just wear it. And that just helps to keep the roots lifted.